I'm 90 years old, 90 years of waking up to new mornings and watching old ones quietly disappear, 90 years of watching the world change. People come and go, dreams rise and fall, and time keep moving without ever asking for permission. When you live this long, you begin to see life differently. Things that once felt urgent no longer matter. Things you once ignored suddenly become everything. You stop chasing noise and start understanding what truly mattered all along. If I could go back, I wouldn't try to become richer. I wouldn't spend my energy trying to impress people who never truly cared. I wouldn't measure my worth by achievements that faded with time. I would simply stop ignoring the things that gave life meaning. Because in the end, it's not what you did that stays with you. It's what you ignored. It's the moments you postponed, the words you never said, the chances you never took. So if you are listening to me today, slow down for a moment. Listen carefully, because these are not just thoughts. These are lessons written by time itself. These are 7 things I wish I never ignored. I wish I never ignored time with the people I loved. When I was younger, I was always busy. Busy building something, busy chasing something, busy trying to become someone. I believed being busy meant I was doing the right thing, but I didn't realize. Busy can also mean distracted from what truly matters. I kept telling myself, I'll spend time with them later when things settle, later when I feel less tired, later when life becomes easier. But life never really becomes easier, and later is a promise that time often breaks. Later became less, and then later disappeared. There were dinners I skipped because of work. There were phone calls I cut short. There were moments I rushed through without truly being there. I remember sitting at a table, physically present, but mentally somewhere else. And now, those moments are gone. Now, I would give anything just to sit with those people one more time, to listen more, to laugh longer, to be fully present without thinking about what comes next. Time is not something you can save for later. It either becomes a memory or it becomes a regret. If someone in your life matters, show up for them, not perfectly, just honestly. Make time now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. I wish I never ignored my dreams. There was a time when I had dreams that made me feel alive, dreams that gave me energy, dreams that made ordinary days feel meaningful. But slowly, I started pushing them aside. I told myself I needed to be practical, responsible, realistic, so I delayed them. I told myself, one day when things are better, I'll start. But that one day kept moving further away. I waited for the perfect moment, the perfect situation, the perfect version of myself. And while I was waiting, life kept moving. Years passed quietly, without making any noise. And those dreams slowly faded, not because they were impossible, but because I never gave them a chance to exist. I wasn't afraid of failing, I was afraid of starting, and that fear disguised itself as logic. The truth is simple. You don't lose dreams because of failure. You lose them because of hesitation, because you convince yourself there's still time. Start before you feel ready. Start even if it's small. Start even if it's imperfect. Because one day, you will look back and realize the hardest step was never the journey. It was the beginning. I wish I never ignored my health. When you are young, your body feels like it belongs to forever. It forgives your mistakes. It adapts to your habits. It keeps going, no matter how you treat it. And that's why you take it for granted. I did the same. I ignored small warnings. I ignored tiredness. I ignored the quiet signals my body was sending me. I chose convenience over care, fast food over nourishment, late nights over rest, stress over balance, and for a long time, nothing seemed wrong. But time keeps a record, and slowly, it collects the cost of your choices, not all at once, but piece by piece. Energy becomes limited. Simple tasks require effort. Pain becomes a regular companion. Health is quiet when it is strong. You don't notice it when everything works. But when it weakens, it becomes the center of your life. Everything changes. Your priorities change. Your freedom changes. Your independence changes. Take care of your body while it still feels easy, because later, it won't be, and no amount of regret can restore what neglect takes away. I wish I never ignored deep connections. I met many people in my life. Some stayed for a while, some passed through quickly, but very few truly connected. And I realized it wasn't because people weren't there, it was because I wasn't fully present. I kept conversations light. I avoided depth. I didn't always listen the way I should have. I thought relationships would maintain themselves, but they don't. Real connection requires intention. It requires time, attention, honesty. It requires you to show up, not just physically, but emotionally. Over time, I understood something clearly. It's not about how many people surround you. It's about how many people truly understand you, and how many you truly understand. In the end, it's those few deep connections that stay. Everything else fades. Invest in real relationships because they become your support, your comfort, your home. I wish I never ignored the present moment. For most of my life, I was somewhere else, not physically but mentally, always thinking about what's next, the next goal, the next step, the next achievement. I believed happiness was waiting somewhere ahead, but in chasing the future, I ignored the present. Moments passed without being felt. Days passed without being noticed. I was always preparing for life, instead of living it. But the truth is, the future never stays. It arrives and becomes the present. And before you realize it, it becomes the past. Life is not built on big events. It is built on small, quiet moments. A simple conversation, a shared laugh, a peaceful evening. These are the moments that shape your life. Slow down enough to notice them, because once they pass, they don't come back. I wish I never ignored growth. There were many times I chose comfort over growth. I stayed where things felt easy. I avoided change. I avoided challenge. I avoided discomfort. But comfort can slowly turn into limitation. Growth never feels easy in the beginning. It feels uncomfortable, uncertain, sometimes even painful, but it's necessary. Because without growth, life becomes repetitive. Days begin to look the same. Years begin to feel empty. And before you realize it, time has passed without progress. Keep learning, even when it feels difficult, even when it feels late, because growth is what keeps your mind alive and your life meaningful. I wish I never ignored saying what I felt. There were many things I wanted to say, but didn't. Not because I didn't feel them, but because I assumed there would always be time. I thought people already knew. So I stayed silent. I held back appreciation. I delayed expressing love. I avoided emotional conversations. But silence has a cost. It leaves things unfinished. And sometimes, the opportunity to speak never returns. Unspoken words don't disappear. They stay with you. They become memories filled with what if. Say what you feel while you can, even if it feels awkward, even if it's not perfect, because honesty matters more than perfection. And in the end, the words you don't say are the ones you remember the most. Now let me tell you something clearly. I did not reach 90 by living perfectly. I made mistakes, many of them. I ignored things I shouldn't have. I delayed things that mattered. I took time for granted. But life teaches, even if the lessons come late. And if you are hearing this now, then you still have something I once had. Time. Time to correct. Time to grow. Time to choose differently. Don't wait for regret to teach you. Learn while you still can, because one day you will look back and you will either feel peace or you will feel the weight of what you ignored. I'm 90 years old. I move slower now. I speak softer now. but I see life more clearly than ever before, and if my voice reaches you today, then maybe, just maybe, you will choose differently. You will pay attention to what truly matters, and you will not ignore the life that is right in front of you.